Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what's included in our sample 501c3 application kits. And the first thing I want to do is clarify, you will not receive a kit in the mail. Okay, the kit is basically a group of files, PDF files, Excel files, and Word documents that you can download. Okay, this is basically tools, things that you can download. So you're not going to get anything in the mail. All right. Now, once you go through the checkout and you purchase your kit, you're going to receive an email in your inbox with instructions on where to log in and how to where to log in to download your kit. And so I'm actually logged in now as the administrator, and I can see where I can download all of the kits. Now, when you make your purchase, you're only going to see one download button, or if you purchase more than one kit, you're going to see a second download button. And when you click that download button, your Windows will open up where you can save a zip file. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a zip file that you can save somewhere on your computer and extract those files. Now, if you don't know how to work with a zip file, don't worry about that because we've got a solution for you. If you scroll down further on the page, you're going to see where you can download each individual file. So I'm going to click that button and you'll see it. You'll get to the PDF page. In my case, whenever I click a PDF page, it opens up in my browser. And depending on your browser settings, when you click the PDF link, it may open up your Windows options where you can actually save that file. So if I choose download here, now it's going to do that so I can download that PDF. Okay, so it really depends on how your browser is set up to look at PDF files. Like this Word document, if I click this button here, it's going to actually open up my Windows so that I can save that file. All right. So again, if you're uncomfortable working with zip files, you'll have this section where you can go and click one file at a time. So here's our little section for, or I shouldn't call it little, but our section for churches. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 files. So that's why we call it a kit, because it's a number of files that we've included in there. And so I have gone through, and now I'm going to actually go to where the files are on my computer. Okay, so if you have, once you have saved your files and extracted them, and ideally if you are saving one file at a time, we suggest that you create a folder on your computer where you're going to keep them all in one place. And this is where so this is where, in my case, I've downloaded all of these files. Now I'm looking at the file structure for the CDC kit, and this one actually includes 15 different documents here. And so yes, as I'm going through this, you'll see where I have blurred out information because we do consider our work proprietary. So we're just going to give you enough so you can see, the basics of what's actually in the kit. Now, once you have downloaded all the forms, or files, I'm going to suggest that the first thing that you do is go to this sample. Look for the PDF file that says sample 501c3 application. Okay. And so here is the one that we did. And you can see here, this file has 87 pages in it. All right. 87 pages. And so you're going to get all of that. This is actually what was sent to the Internal Revenue Service. All of these pages in this particular order, and this application was approved. Now for this CDC kit, excuse me, the Community Development Corporation kit, this client wanted everything under the sun, and I did a lot of homework to make sure that there would not be any problems. And this application was sent to the IRS and approved with no questions asked. And I just knew it, because they wanted to do all of this stuff, that it was going to take a while, a long time for the IRS to approve it. But in this case, it was approved in 3 weeks. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. So you're going to be able to print this off, and keep in mind, when I put these sample application kits together, I just kind of reflected back on, or I was inspired, because when I first did my first application, I was like, didn't know what I was doing. I did had enough information to do some research, okay, but and so I wished I had a sample, but I didn't, and I had to just work from scratch. Okay? And so here I'm assuming, you're trying to put your application together. You're looking for words, you're looking for, how you should answer these questions, and probably even thinking, man, if I can get in Belinda's office, she's putting these applications together. If I could just see one of hers, that would just be awesome. And so that's what this purpose of this sample kit is for, to show you what a real application looks like. So if that's what you're looking for, a real sample, that's what you're going to get. This is the real application that was sent to the IRS, not just the Form 1023. Because see here, our Form 1023 here stops at page 20 of the PDF. And I will tell you this, when you're doing your applications, you're going to fill out the main pages. Like, you're going to fill out, this first Form 1023, page 1, all the way to page, I think it's page the financials, and then this page here, page 11. Now, this one was done a while ago, but for the most part, it's laid out the same. And the new ones that we have, the IRS put out, yours is going to have the answers to the same, for the most part, the same questions, but it's just formatted a little bit differently. So you're going to get to the page where you sign, to that last page where you sign off for the user information. And when it comes to all those extra schedules, Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C, all those extra schedules, you only need to include them if they apply to your organization. All right. Don't think that you have to complete all of those pages. So in this particular CDC kit that we did for this Community Development Corporation, or the application, we needed a Schedule F because they wanted elderly housing program and also a low income housing program. We also included Schedule H because they wanted to provide scholarships. So you'll see how we answered these questions. We're also giving you a sample of the article. You're going to get everything. You're going to get the articles, the bylaws, all of that's in here. All right. So you'll see theirs. All right. So you're going to get that as well. I mean, like I said, everything, all the responses to the questions, for the to the application, all of the responses to the questions, we've included that, as well as the narrative description of programs and activities. Now, here you're getting the narrative for this client. That's part of their Form 1023 that was sent. So that's part of that big PDF file. But in addition to that, when you see our Word document, in fact, let me go ahead and pull that up. You're going to get instead of you having to retype all of this or copy and paste and try to create your own Word document, that's where this kit comes in. It's not just this sample application. You're also going to get our Word documents and our Excel documents to help you save time, because we've laid it out for you. So let me jump over to that. Okay, so here's the Word document for this Community Development Corporation, and from pages 1 to 15 is the narrative descriptions of the programs and activities, not just the ones that we put in this particular CDC kit that you just saw on that PDF file, but we have jam-packed this Word document with all sorts of other programs and activities from community related programs and activities, and even foreign and missions and outreach programs and activities from our other kits. So we kind of see this community development kit as being all inclusive. It's almost everything that we've done in all those other kits, with the exception of church. Okay, the church programs are separate. So if you're thinking about buying multiple kits, I would say get the church kit plus the CDC kit, and you're set. You don't have to buy all the kits. All right. So this includes, as I said, 15 pages of writing for the narrative description of the programs and activities for youth programs, foreign missions, all sorts of community programs, elderly housing, etc. And then we've given you the yes, no responses. You know how on Form 1023, there's those questions that say, if yes, then please explain. If no, then please explain. And you're like, okay, what do I say? What words do they want to hear? What if I say it wrong? What if I give them too much information? What if I don't give them enough information? Scratch all of that out of your head. We have put the words together for you. They're already here. So all you need to do is go through it and edit it. Again, even with the narrative, this 15 pages, all you do is go through and delete out what you don't want, change the wording, especially for the transitional housing programs. Okay, so let's say you're thinking about getting the transitional housing program for women or for men, or which one do you pick? If it's a transitional housing, if it says transition, I think the women's program is a transitional housing program. Use that. If you don't, let's say you don't need all this extra community stuff. Yeah, it may say transitional for women. You can edit the words. You can edit the where we'd say it's going to be for women. Scratch that out and say it's going to be for homeless people, or it's going to be for whatever group you want to target. So don't feel like you're stuck with this program for women. Scratch out the word women, change it to teens, change it to runaway teens, pregnant moms, whatever group that you're looking at, change that word to, that's all it is. It's just a few words that you can customize to match your organization. So the key thing is to use ours as a guide. And then also, let's say there's programs that you want to do, but the wording is not in the kit, okay, or in our narratives. At least you have ours as a guide. So where you'll see where we have a section for life skills workshops, you'll see how we lay all of that out, so that maybe you don't want the same names or titles of the topics. Maybe yours is completely different type of educational programs. Maybe it's something like a whole group of programs for kids. Maybe you're going to do all sorts of different kind of workshops, completely different. Just change the words, but at least you see how to lay it out. That's the purpose of this kit, is to help you figure out how to lay it out, how to save some time in putting all of your responses together. So if you're trying to decide, or if you're on the fence about whether or not you should purchase the kit, the key thing to think about is where are you in this process? Are you at the beginning? Are you at the middle, at the end? Are you looking for a sample of what a real application should look like? If so, download the kit and just look at the sample, use that, compare it to yours, tweak yours where you want, done. If you are starting totally from scratch and you feel you can do it, but you just need some direction, download the kit and use the one where we have Form 1023, where it's 80% complete for you. All right, and build and move on. Move on from there, working through the different sections of the application. So, again, it'll help anybody who's at the end of the process but want to use ours as a cheat sheet. That's kind of what I was looking for, a cheat sheet.
How what should a real one look like? And because when I send mine in, I want to make sure it's going to pass the IRS and come with no questions asked. Now, another thing that people tend to ask is, okay, you say it's 80% done for me. So, what's the 20% that I need to do? Well, on the form 1023, I went through and we basically answered on this particular form. We have answered, if you tally up all the questions, we've answered over 80% or about 80% of the questions for you. So, what questions could we not answer for you? Well, for one, we could not answer the questions about your name and your address and your tax ID number and your contact information. We couldn't answer that question. We couldn't answer the question as to whether or not your organization has a website. We couldn't answer the question about what is your date of incorporation. So you'll have to put that in there. All right. The other questions we did not answer is the names and the address of your board members. You're going to have to put that information in there. And if you've got compensation over $50,000 a year, well, for starters, we're assuming it's a fairly new organization. And so we went ahead and put none in there as we do for our clients typically. But if you do have situations where there's more than $50,000 compensation, of more than $50,000 a year, and it's not someone that's listed on this page, part 4 or part 5, you're going to have to put that information here. We could not answer this question in part 5, line 2A, where it asks, are any of your officers or directors or trustees related to each other through family or business relationship? Why? Because we don't know who they are. And so we couldn't answer that. Let's see, all the questions on this page is answered. The majority, just about all these. Oh, we couldn't answer this question here. Are you submitting this application more than 27 months after the end month in which you're legally formed? We don't know when you were legally formed, so we couldn't answer that question for you. Let's see, another question we could not answer for you. Let's see, just about all these on this page is answered. All of those are answered. Everything on this page is answered. Everything on this page is answered. Oh, the financials. We could not complete this because we don't know your organization's financials. So this is the big part that you're going to have to complete for your organization. And then this financial data on this page. Let's see. Let's see that page. That part is done. We've answered that part for you, and let's see. Yeah, we pretty much answered the majority of the questions. So, and then on depending on the other schedules, like Schedule A, let me get to that. Um, we let's see this one here. Oh, I'm in the CDC kit, so I don't have my questions answered on this one because this is for a church and you wouldn't do this one. But we've answered most of the. If you had the church kit, you'd see yeses and nos already checked off on the majority of those. But we couldn't answer the questions like how many members do you have, um, those kind of things. Let's see. And also, I think, what is your average attendance? We could not answer that question because we do not know. So, I should note that Schedule B for schools is not included. We don't have a sample application for a school, so that's not here in this, at least at this time, we don't have that. For hospitals, none of our kits has any information for hospitals or clinics or medical research programs. We don't have anything for that. Supporting organizations, don't have anything there. Um, Schedule E, um, we complete just a little bit of what we could, but you'll have to do that one if that's applicable. And if you were doing the housing program, um,
we would, we would answer those, as many of those questions for you as possible. And let's see. So basically, we've gone through the application and answered as many of the questions on Form 1023 that are relevant to the majority of the client. And so we see it's a little bit more than 80% of those questions answered for you. And the other cool thing I want to tell you about is that within the kits, when you purchase the kit, you're going to get access to a bonus webinar. Yes, one of the things that I did is I had a webinar with a group of people who actually purchased the kit. And we went page by page through the Form 1023, and I gave a lot of suggestions as to what to watch for, how to answer certain questions, and also how to use the kit. Oh, another cool thing I want to show you here. Hold on. When you get your kit, you're going to get a checklist. And this is going to be very helpful for you. This is a checklist that shows you the order, and it's like a master checklist of what you should have in your application. And so this shows you how to organize your kit page by page and where to send it off to the Internal Revenue Service. So, you follow this, make sure you've covered all the bases, that I've, shared in the video. And when in the webinar, do watch the webinar. Do watch that bonus webinar, okay? And then also, when you purchase the kit, a lot of people ask, do I get any other help? Well, one, this sample plus the bonus webinar, I really think that that's all you're going to need. And then also, you want to make sure that you've signed up for our, if you're starting totally from scratch, our free How to Start a Nonprofit in 5 Days mini course. Look at our resources page for that. That talks about all the stuff you need to do with the state. This sample kit is to help you with that Form 1023 after you've done your state registrations. But if you're not already incorporated, I say buy the kit first. And here's why. In our kit, and I'm back to that Form 1023 for this sample, you're going to get the Articles of Incorporation. And I'm going to show you this here. This is the Articles of Incorporation. Now, when you get incorporated, when you get your corporation documents, you want to make sure that it is stamped as filed. All right, the state stamp has to be on there. All right, these documents have to be stamped. And then also, there's some additional clauses that the IRS is going to be looking for. And if those clauses are not in your Articles of Incorporation, then you're going to have to file Articles of Amendment. Still, and so this wording is in your sample kit. In fact, let me find that. Okay, so here's it, the special 501c3 provisions for your articles. So you open this up, this is going to have the wording that you need for your articles, okay? And so you can use this in either the Articles of Incorporation or the Articles of Amendment, all right? When you're putting yours together. So don't rush and get incorporated until you've actually purchased the kit, because you may need this wording in your Articles of Incorporation. Now, some states have templates for putting the articles together, and the words that the IRS are looking for is already in there, but a lot of states don't. Okay, so be careful. Don't jumpstart and get incorporated until you have those words. And I'll also note those words are available in one of the IRS publications 557. You could go to that as well. So again, bottom line, just think about where you are in the process. Are you at the very beginning and you really like some help moving through this quickly? This really works well for people who are comfortable with filling out forms and working through Excel documents, people who have what I call the gift of administration. They don't mind doing a little research, digging around, and putting papers together. If you don't like dealing with a whole lot of paperwork and all these forms and pages and questions and all that, just like, what, you're better off spending your time helping, working and focusing on growing your organization, then yeah, you might want to delegate it to a professional and consider hiring our firm to do that for you. But if you got that gift of administration, don't mind doing research and digging around and editing and stuff like that, you love putting packages together, hey, this is for you. This is going to help you get yours done and get it done quickly. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. And I wanted to know if you had any follow-up questions after you purchased your kit, after you've downloaded, looked at the sample, after you have watched that webinar, and if you still have questions after that, I don't mind answering questions by email. So you'll have my email address when you make your purchase. Save that and just spell out what your question is, and I will give you a response. All right? Hopefully this is helpful, and God bless you.